Ever wondered who that mysterious adventurer was who handed Indiana Jones his legendary fedora, shaping the iconic look of one of cinema's greatest heroes? It's a tale filled with adventure, history, and a dash of behind-the-scenes confusion that might just blow your mind. But stick around, because the real controversy starts with what to call this enigmatic figure. And trust me, it's not as straightforward as you might think. Let's dive into the thrilling backstory from Steven Spielberg's 1989 blockbuster, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, breaking it down step by step so even newcomers to the series can follow along without getting lost in the plot twists. Picture this, we're whisked back to 1912, where a teenage Indiana Jones, played by the talented River Phoenix, is out on an exciting horseback trek with his Boy Scout buddies in the rugged wilderness of Moab, Utah. While poking around some local caves, young Indy and a pal stumble upon a group of shady freelance treasure hunters who've just dug up a dazzling golden artifact. Indy, with his budding archaeologist instincts, instantly recognizes it as the Cross of Coronado, a priceless necklace steeped in historical importance that rightfully belongs in a museum, not in the hands of opportunistic looters. Fueled by a sense of justice, Indy attempts to snatch the cross and make a daring escape, but he's spotted. What follows is an epic, heart-pounding chase sequence involving galloping horses, roaring jeeps, and even a wildly chaotic circus train. Pure cinematic magic that showcases Spielberg's knack for high-stakes action. The pursuit finally wraps up when Indy cleverly evades his pursuers and dashes back home. Excitedly, he tries to show off his prize to his father, the brilliant but distracted Professor Henry Jones Sr., portrayed by the legendary Sean Connery. But Dad's too engrossed in his academic work to take notice. Just then, the sheriff arrives on the scene. Indy eagerly explains how he rescued the cross from those thieves, but the sheriff lays down the law. Legally, the artifact belongs to the treasure hunters, since they excavated it first. Enter the leader of the group, a dashing, confident adventurer, sporting a stylish fedora, brought to life by actor Richard Young. With a knowing smirk, he admits defeat, but reminds Indy that not liking it doesn't change the reality. And in that pivotal moment, he plops his fedora onto Indy's head, a gesture that symbolically passes the torch of adventure. In the movie's credits and original script, this character isn't given a proper name at all. Just Fedora, cleverly named after the hat he's wearing. For context, let's clarify what a fedora is for those who might not know. It's a wide-brimmed, indented hat that originated in the 1890s, inspired by an Italian play titled Fedora, about a feminist theme. The hat was popularized by actress Sarah Bernhardt, a trailblazer who broke gender norms by wearing menswear. And it became a symbol of women's empowerment. So here's a fun fact. Indiana Jones, the epitome of rugged masculinity, struts around with a symbol of feminist fashion on his head. It's like the ultimate irony in the world of adventure films. Does that make Indy a subtle advocate for gender equality, or just a coincidence? Food for thought. For years, this guy was simply known as Fedora, with no real identity beyond that. In fact, early plans suggested he might be linked to another character called Panama Hat, played by Paul Maxwell, a wealthy industrialist who supposedly hired Fedora to steal the cross. But in the 1989 novelizations based on earlier scripts, Panama Hat didn't even appear. Fast forward to 2008, when author Ryder Wyndham updated the Last Crusade novelization and dubbed the character Garth. It turns out Wyndham relied on a so-called original movie script that was actually a transcription of the final film, not the true screenplay by Jeffrey Boehm. Whoever did that transcription just slapped on the name Garth for reasons unknown, perhaps a fan's improvisation, or an editing oversight. And just like that, Garth seeped into the Indiana Jones universe, popping up in licensed books and even subtitles on official Blu-ray releases. But here's where it gets controversial. Lucasfilm, the studio behind it all, has firmly shut down Garth as the official name. On their official website, in a section dedicated to the Indiana Jones lore, They explicitly state that the character is only Fedora, a placeholder moniker tied to his hat. They acknowledge Garth as a mention in a handful of other sources, but dismiss it as unofficial. This despite it appearing in sanctioned novelizations. It's almost like Lucasfilm is datekeeping the prequel narratives again, deciding what's canon and what's not, a move that has sparked debates among fans about creative control and fan contributions. And this is the part most people miss. What if Garth is just as valid as Fedora, given how it's spread through official channels? Could it be a nod to the collaborative nature of storytelling? Or is Lucasfilm right to enforce strict boundaries? To add another layer of intrigue, there's even a third name floating around from an obscure German novel titled Indiana Jones und das verschwundene Volk, or Indiana Jones and the Lost People by Wolfgang Holbein. In this book, Indy recalls his youthful clash with the adventurer, who introduces himself as Jake. But this is a one-off mention, making Jake even more unofficial than Garth. It's like the character has a whole alias buffet. Fedora, Garth, Jake. Which one do you think fits best? If you're as hooked on Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade as we are, why not check out our deep dive into the film's unforgettable final sequences for more behind-the-scenes magic? But before you go, let's spark some discussion. Do you believe Garth should be accepted as canon? Or should we stick strictly to Fedora to honor the original vision? Is the feminist hat angle on Indy's Fedora something the filmmakers intended? Or just a happy accident? And what do you think about studios like Lucasfilm policing their universes? Does it enrich the lore or stifle creativity? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear your take and see if we can unravel this mystery together.